Welcome to Color Me Happy. My name is Brandy Hofer. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time. Today we have on the podcast, pod, whatever you want to call it, or just podcast, we have Elenee Young. So she is Elenee M. Young on Instagram. She's an amazing musician, entrepreneur, and her family has a local restaurant that has been here for 30 plus years in our local community. And the reason I am featuring her this week on the podcast is because we are all teaming up for the Kindness Wins campaign, which is raising funds for anti-bullying program in our community and more. And we're partnering with so many individuals. And Spiro's, the family restaurant which Elenee helps run, is on the forefront. They are donating $5 from every heart-shaped pizza sale, and I think what's the date today? It is the 15th. They've already raised $1,000. That's a heck of a lot of pizzas. So it's pretty nuts, and it's pretty cool to see everyone coming together for this very important message and campaign. We are part of it. We designed the shirts, and you can see all that information. I talk about it a whole lot on Instagram, Brandy Hofer Studios, and you can also see that on our website, brandyhofer.ca. I know you will love this conversation. We chat a lot about motherhood, our birth experiences, and we also, is that like a bonus? And you can hear all about birthing. No, and following our careers in the throes of motherhood. And it's a pretty amazing chat, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Shut the door.
Okay. Right, we'll start again. Hey, Elenee, thanks for being here. That's probably very loud. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I'm so happy that we're doing this. Thanks for having me on. And we are unstoppable when we speak. Like, I can imagine this could be like a 4-part podcast if you don't cut me off somewhere. Somebody's
or once a month. Or once a month. I know. I always see you in co-op, and we're like, we both have our kids, and we're like, if we could just have an hour here. No, they're like, we're there at the worst time, getting like here and there items. Ugh.
Yeah, or like it's 4:30 and I forgot to put supper on, so I have to go buy something, and by the time I get out of the house, it's like
eat your chips. Let's get out of here. I always feed my kids in the grocery store.
That's so smart.
It's like, yeah, I like give them all this food. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you clearly don't go to the grocery store and realize the epic fails that go along with the adventure, and desperate times call for chips and whatever.
We used to go
open yogurt. I don't care.
Whatever. We used to go to Superstore more than Co-op, and it was like the little cheese and grapes, like it was just like a little charcuterie box. It was just cheese and grapes. And I would just grab one of those and obviously keep the lid to pay for it after, but like they would just snack on them. And that was a lifesaver. But now that they're older, I feel like I give them each a cart, and then they that is a lifesaver.
Well, that's nice. Isn't that nice for you?
Well, until I need more groceries, then
no. I do pickup. I have to do pickup. I actually send Carly, my husband, for pickup. Mm-hmm. We were actually in a Walmart commercial saying how convenient picking up groceries is.
Yeah, but really,
that's why I Walmart.
Yeah, girl.
Say that 5,000 times. That's why I Walmart. That's why I Walmart.
That's why I Walmart.
This is in no way an ad for Walmart. It was just anyway, that was cool. But yeah, I'm a grocery. I love food, so I go to all of the stores for very individual items. But yeah, for the most part, just send Carly Friday mornings every morning to get the groceries, because so much energy. Mm-hmm. So much energy. By the time you physically go, you pick it all out, put it all in your cart, unload the cart, go through the checkout, load it back into your car, and then unload it into your home. But then let's throw in 3 fucking monsters.
Yeah.
Or like,
And then I feel like the most work for me is when you get it into your house and you just have to put it all away.
Oh,
Like
it's
it sits on my
all
counters
plus
for
a
like
winter
2
coat
hours.
though. Throw a winter coat that's made for minus 47 degrees Celsius, and you're just sweating your balls off and
Yeah.
super
Oh,
sore wherever you are.
yeah.
I'm like, and then yeah, Teddy threw the blueberry container on the floor, and that's my life. That's just how it went. So yeah, it had to shift into that. It was such a game changer. I'm happy that that we are able to order and pick them up. It like seriously saves me like 2 to 4 hours a week, which is amazing.
Which equals like 7 to 10 business days over a lifetime. So
yeah, no, probably more.
Probably.
Yeah. So no, I love it. And oh, like seriously, like Teddy dumped a container of rice this morning. He's so extra special right now.
Teddy.
I don't even want to, like, I think it'll stress people out if I talk about it.
Is it Teddy specifically, individually, or is it third child syndrome? Like,
no,
he's
just at it's 2. Like just the exploratory stage of touching, dumping, pulling. He poured out maple syrup in the garage this morning.
Perfect.
Too. Yeah. That's cool.
What a guy.
But not. I was like, that was $14.
Oh yeah.
Also sticky everywhere. And that's a few mornings that has happened. And I put it like on shelves that should not be reached by a 2-year-old. Oh, anyway, yeah, it's like, let's move on. Sorry.
Oh, I love this.
Moms, parents everywhere will know, and they'll be like, I know. I have a story for you. I'm gonna message you later.
Yeah.
So what I love about we go way back. We go way back. I knew you when you were a child, which kind of dates me as a person. But let me start from the beginning. Why I know you. So I was a server at your beautiful family restaurant for 4 years, and you would have been a young teen going into not so young teen when I was there. So I have known you, yes, since at the best time of your life.
The worst.
No, it's every teen. That's just the way they are. Discovering yourself.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. And of course, I was still discovering myself. I was in my early 20s. So, but that's why we know each other. And it's kind of amazing to see you grow into an amazing individual who has not only taken on a giant role in your family business, like an epic one, and like changed the whole business, like in a great way. Not that your family all works very hard collectively. The hardest working people I've ever met, actually, and taught me how to work very hard. Like seriously, I wrote about it in my book, how much like they taught me how to work hard. Anyway, just so you know, you should probably read it when it comes out, because there's some shit there.
Okay, I can't wait.
Not shit, good stuff. And maybe some stories about Spiro, who the restaurant is Spiro's, and that is you say Papu?
Yep. Yeah. Yes, girl.
Yeah.
You remember.
Yeah. So I could like have a whole, he's been on podcasts. I could have a whole podcast with him as the subject and tell stories about stuff. I remember him like learning Ukrainian every night, sitting by himself, just learning a third language. Just no big deal.
Yeah.
I have this friend who's Ukrainian, so I want to learn Ukrainian so we can talk.
Yeah. What a cool
That's
guy.
the kind of person he is. But he's so sweet and taught me so many life lessons. But okay. And then, seeing you grow into taking on that, but also motherhood, early-ish.
So early.
I would say. Yeah. Like how old were you when you had your first daughter?
21. No. 22? Yep, 22 and 23. That's when I had my 2.
Oh, that's special. Special and close together. Yeah. Sounds like an adventure.
Yeah. It's fun now. It definitely wasn't fun at first. I'll tell you that.
No, it's interesting. It's kind of that double, like it's so great but so challenging all at once. Yeah, so seeing you take on motherhood, and then also not giving up on your dreams. You're a musician, so talented, and you, yeah. Oh, I can hear everything in my mic. I'm sure, I hope that's not recorded, but I can hear my husband swearing in the garage. I can't hear it with my human ears, but when my stuff is on, I can hear extra special things happening in my home. It's like the worst time of day. It's 3:03, and we shouldn't have had our podcast pre-chat.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so there's so much to talk about. And I don't even know where to begin, but would you say, let's start with motherhood, because that's where let's start with motherhood. You coming into motherhood. So I know you had some challenges with that. You suffered, was it postpartum? You dealt with a little postpartum.
Oh, yeah.
Was that for both or just your first?
I think it was for so it was for both, but in really different ways. So my kids are 14 months apart. And when I had Mila, my oldest, I feel like I didn't know what to do. I mean, that's normal. Nobody knows what to do. I feel like even having probably 3 children, you're like, I still don't know what to do. But after you have your first, I feel like you can have a little better handle on having a newborn, and you sort of understand a little bit of what to expect. But my first time around, like, I just felt so confused as to like how I was supposed to keep this child alive. And so the day before, so Mila's birthday is October 7th. She was born at 42 weeks. I was overdue with her, and I really tried to evade a C-section, an induction. I really wanted to have like a natural labor and a natural birth, but she was overdue, and they made me feel like the only option was an induction at that point, which was stupid. But anyways, on October 6th, the day before I knew I was going to get induced, my parents sat me down and told me that they were getting a divorce, which, as you know, was fine. Like, that was something I had sort of hoped for in their relationship, because both parties were very unhappy, and I've wanted this my whole life. But I was just like, why now? Why right now?
Could you guys have held off just not today?
Like, so it was a bit weird. It was weird. And I was there to support both of them in whatever way they needed support. But also I was like, I'm about to embark on like the most horrific, like, next couple months of my life. So anyways, I went in for my induction. It went super south, super fast, and ended up having an emergency C-section, which is like kind of how it goes with inductions, I guess. More people that I've talked to than not have had a C-section after an induction. But
I was induced to, yes.
Did you have a C-section?
I did not, and it almost ended up in a C-section with the heart rate dropping.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was very close, and then he just skyrocketed out. But I'm like, no.
And like, in that moment, they kind of give you an ultimatum. They're like, your baby's heart.
It was very, very close. Yep. It was very close. And then it just, yeah. So then Paul came in and tickled his head and whatever. I don't know what they do. I think he tickled his head. It's very blurry after 3 of those things happening. But yeah, I feel like inductions, my body was not prepared for what happened. And I did talk about that. I had Tammy on, and she works on 3rd floor in the maternity ward. And we just talked about the realities of labor. So it's a really interesting episode because, everyone has a unique story. There's no normal birth. There's no right or wrong thing to do. All you need is hopefully everyone comes out safely, and that doesn't happen all the time. Right. So yeah, nothing can prepare you for that. But yeah, my body wasn't ready, and they called a starburst tear, and I got to enjoy that. Just because, like, when the baby is about to be born, like when, you know, your body's prepping, it presses on the cervix slowly more and more and more, so that like stretches it and preps it for,
Right.
you know, the slow way that birth is supposed to happen. And if he wasn't dropped low enough and there wasn't that pressure on, like with Finn, it was beautiful. My second, I walked that whole day. I just kind of walked around, and yeah, you could feel like it just pushing down. And then by the time it all happened, it like, he came out nicely, and I wasn't on the couch for 2 weeks, not able to move. You know, I was up the same day.
Yeah.
And the next day, like moving around fine. And so, yeah, inductions, I just don't think, like, obviously I had to do it because of gestational diabetes, but, and they do it if you're overdue, of course, because there's the risks outweigh the benefits, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's
but
right.
yeah, but I don't think your body's ready. I agree.
Yeah. You
it's
literally
a long way to agree with you.
No, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. So, yeah. So that was just a lot. They were both at the hospital like the next day after I had her by a C-section. And when I had the C-section, I hemorrhaged and lost a whole pile of blood. So that was the beginning of my journey of being chronically anemic. And so like that's what I was dealing with, plus like the awkward tension of like my parents and having this newborn baby who I had no idea. I had this like made up in my mind. I was like, I am going to nurse her. She is going to be breastfed in whatever way that, like, I don't care how it happens. I had a friend at the time who had a baby almost.
Sorry. Here's one.
Oh,
Hi.
happy birthday.
Elenee says happy birthday.
Where is Mama?
I don't know. Is she here?
No, like, where is Mama at her house? Like, is she anywhere?
I don't know.
Well, we're going to Mama's.
Yeah, I'm not sure where she is in her house at this moment. See? Okay, no Teddy. Close the door.
Oh my gosh. He's
Where is my grandma right now in this moment? I don't know. I don't know
tell ya.
where she is. Yeah, keep going. So
Yeah.
You wanted to nurse?
Yeah, and I had a friend who had been pumping, like it wasn't working out for the latch, so she was
Sorry. Just keep talking. They're here. He found me.
Oh my gosh, Teddy. And essentially it didn't work out. She wasn't latching well, so I was like, well, my friend's pumping, so I'll pump. So in order to make like enough milk for half a feeding, I had to pump every 2 hours for 45 minutes. That's like what gave me enough time to recuperate.
Yeah,
And
it sounds like it wasn't.
So I would have to like half nurse her or like half bottle feed her with breast milk and half formula. And she had some tummy issues because she just wasn't digesting them the same. And so for like the first 3 months of her life, she just scream cried all the time. And then I decided to pull the plug on pumping. I was just like, this is not the thing for me. And so I started bottle feeding her with just formula, and it was a game changer. After like 3.5
really?
she was like totally different baby, so sweet, so happy. So
I just dumped all my files. That sums him up in a moment. 30 seconds, and that's what he does every 30 seconds.
Oh, good job, Teddy. That's really brilliant.
Hi.
Hi. Can you wave? He can't hear me.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I can't do this.
Who is he? He's so funny.
I know. Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
Cutie.
Trouble. That's what I see all over that face.
Everybody's mad at me, but if I make them laugh, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's what they get from their dad.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna help, but if I make you laugh, it'll get me out of it, right? No, like, oh, that sounds like a lot of energy. I remember seeing you again in the grocery store, and I would have had my first and maybe not my second yet. Yeah, so I would just had my first, and you would have had your first, and you were like, I don't get what this whole motherhood thing is about. I don't know why I just spit. Cool.
This sucks.
Lucky I'm recording with video, so everyone can see how awesome I am. Okay, you're like, I don't get it. Like, everyone told me it would be beautiful, and it's not. It's just like, I think that something's amiss here for her. I didn't know a lot about it yet. I hadn't had a lot of friends. He's got a flamingo now. Cool.
Perfect.
Who had gone through postpartum, and then like when I did have like more of a knowledge base around it, I was like, oh well, Lenny just had like a tough time, obviously, and a smidgen of postpartum.
A little dust.
Yeah, because like, you know, that's when you feel that disconnect, right?
Yeah, it was really tough, and
there's nothing wrong with that. It happens. Like,
oh my gosh,
I don't know the stats, but it's another flamingo. Fucking cool. I don't know the stats, but I know it's like way more than you think.
Yeah,
it is.
and my mom had started to live with us, so she moved in with us as we brought Mila home. We also brought my mom home to live in our basement, just because they had, with their separation, like he just stayed in the house and she came and lived with us, and it was such a game changer. Like, I don't know how I would have possibly survived the first 6 months without my mom living with us, because she would like stay up all night with her sometimes and let me sleep. She would like whatever. She was just in it and in the throes of that with me. I don't even know how I would ever be able to repay her, but that was just something that really helped. But still, it felt, and the time of the year I think didn't help either. Like, I had her in October, and I feel kind of depressed every October, anyways. Like
Yeah, well, for us, it's just like, here's winter and snuggle in.
Yeah,
it's gonna be cold and gray, and yeah, so. Although we're a little bit lucky, our winters do have those nice open skies, but yeah, it's like you don't get to be outside as much, and
yeah,
it's you know,
like when it starts to get dark earlier, I'm just like, oh, no.
I know, yeah. And I don't know if anyone will ever stay on this episode, because it just like sums up what it's like to be a parent right now.
All good things.
Because
oh,
there we go. Yeah.
Somebody's trying to get into my door too. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, this is funny.
Oh, okay, they're going now, and cool. Yeah. Okay, let's move on from parenthood. My children are finally gone, and have like a moment to. I want to talk about you, because like amongst, taking on that, and then your kids get a little older, and did you step more into your family business and then just like really held on to being a songstress, or did it all kind of like naturally coincide?
I don't honestly even know really how to answer that, because it felt like it all just happened really organically. And I think one of the most interesting things I've found as a parent in this season of my life is that I'm actually almost verbatim, if that's the right word for word, line by line, in every action. I'm literally living my mother's life. I'm doing exactly what my mother did. The only difference is, I would say, is like the partner. Like, I have an amazing husband who's like an amazing dad, and who's the greatest support system. My dad is pretty flaky. And then I am finding that I am trying to be more mindful of my children's time. It's not always perfect. And I just feel like having an awareness is the first step in the right direction. Because I remember my sister and I would spend like hours at the restaurant. We'd come to the restaurant after school, and then we would just stay there till like mom was done work, which was like 9:30, 10. So we spent a lot of nights at the restaurant. And I mean, we had a TV, we like played in the office. We had lots of things to do, lots of activities. And I would probably say that most of my creativity came from all the times that we spent just making play at the restaurant. But I do hope for like not a better childhood for my kids, but in some way a more exciting life for my children, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that ends up. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep talking. In the meantime, I yeah, it's just making some changes and adjustments. Like, if I don't need to be there, like there's no reason for me to just be there. And so yeah, it's a lot of work because a huge part of me wants to be there all the time. And it's like almost a addiction, actually. Like it could be like I could be a workaholic. I am a workaholic. I just try and channel it in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, I think about working all the time, but I
Mhm.
think that's a sign that you're passionate
Mhm.
about what you're doing and loving the, all the facets of each, thing.
Yeah.
You get to, work really hard. And I think that probably comes from, seeing great examples of people working hard in your life. And like you you can see reward like in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like you can see, what work you put in,
Mhm.
and how much of a difference it can make. And
Yeah.
a
The
lot of
road.
people don't know, especially like maybe younger generations, is like, yeah, like everything you do is work, and it's like you have to keep your goals in mind and keep moving forward and just working every day. uh and you don't know if it's going to work, but you
No,
hope
that's
it
like the risk
does.
associated with it is like I think there's a generation that is so jaded. Jaded? No, they're naive. They are unaware of risk taking because it's easy to, really hide your children from risks in any form and even in the small things. So I think that we need to show like this up and coming, like Gen Z and lower, like let's show them what it's like to actually work really hard. And especially like how many ads on Instagram do you come across a day that are like, this guy who looks like he's in his really early 30s that's like, ask me how I make six figures a month.
Oh,
And it's like me and
just
my
like,
private jet. Like it's so easy to be sucked into like that and wanting that so bad and not understanding that. I'm sure that behind the scenes that guy probably worked really hard for it. But sometimes like the day to day and the working and the putting in of the hours, like
why do you want a private jet? Like,
yeah,
or like, where's the like, where's the reality in like that is just not real life. Okay, he gets to take a private jet occasionally, but does he have like the fundamentals of like a fulfilling life? And that's just not one of the things that checks those boxes. And I know this because now in every podcast episode, and you'll be asked this too, is just imagine your perfect day, and everyone has the same answer, and it has nothing to do with the private jet.
that's true.
Yeah.
Although now that you're giving me the heads up, I'll probably mention my private jet in there. But I just think like you don't have the opportunity to really positively influence people in big level stuff. Like it's the everyday small interactions that you have with normal everyday people. That's what actually fulfilling to your life and it's fulfilling to someone else's, right? It's not like hanging out with execs all the time and like talking about investment with your Shiba Inu or whatever.
Yeah.
It's that's not fulfilling. I just don't think that that's a fulfilling life. I think it's talking to the normal people or getting to help those who are less fortunate than you are or helping people that are in a different situation than yours. And the restaurant has given me the opportunity to see that and to try and implement that kind of an attitude in every way. And it's like little things like being at the grocery store and then just leaving my credit card there for the lady to just quickly swipe it for the cart behind me, or paying for someone's Starbucks order. Like it's little things like that. And it's not necessarily always money related, but it's the little things that you do for people that might, yeah, be money based, buying something for someone or whatever that actually like just changes the trajectory of their day. And that could like change the way that their kids are treated for the rest of the day. It's little things like that.
My
So
mom actually left me a note. I had written her a thank you letter. She moved me out to Halifax when I went to university, and she took me to Walmart. Walmart, shop at Walmart, everyone. She took
That's
me to
why I
Walmart.
love
My
Walmart.
mom loved Walmart.
Perfect.
Anyway, she took me to Walmart and got me all this stuff for my new place. My mom did not make money. She lived by a different set of values and system and what was morally right in life. She worked with people who had developmental disabilities, and that she cared about, impacting people and changing their lives in a different way. And she was a very special individual. And so she had taken me and gotten me like a futon and some blankets and stuff, whatever. My dad, I actually just had a vivid memory of my dad taking me to get the futon when he came out later, which is a terrible story.
We got time.
My parents are separated as well. They never got a divorce because this is how poor we were. They couldn't afford to get divorced, so they stayed together for 26 years.
Perfect.
And so, yeah. Anyway, they were both good people, and they both really did their best. So, yeah, my dad took me to get my futon. I remember him testing couldn't buy me a real bed. Futon. So again, no money, and just enough money for food. We were rich and we're a good family, and they had enough to give us the food and clothes we needed. So, and a roof above our heads. So not much to complain about. He was smushing each one. I was like, what is he doing? He was like, this one makes the least amount of sound. I was like, fuck you, Dad.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like testing them all out. It's like, ugh, gross.
Like,
That memory will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, yeah, she had taken me to get all this stuff, and then so my mom had left a bin for each of us kids when she had passed away, and there was a note on the letter she had saved that I sent her, and she said, this is what matters. This is what is important in life. People, doing things for people and impacting real people's lives. Like, that's the gist of the note. And I obviously had taken that to heart and hopefully implemented it into that influenced one of my recent decisions. I got offered a lot of jobs this year. Just from putting myself out there so much. And one of them is working with kids, and I had always avoided teaching because the stereotype that goes along with that. And I just imagine myself like, and already I know kids, like, they dress up as me for career day, and like, that's just the kids in my neighborhood. So just imagine the impact I can make working with kids every day, making those beautiful memories, and like having them integrate creativity into the rest of their lives and having a positive memory as opposed to a negative one, which happens a lot with creativity. So yeah, I said yes to, and we'll see how it goes. But I just think, if you're going to really talk about changing the world, that's
with the
where
little
you
ones.
start. Yeah. So I never want to do it full time. I still I'm really passionate about my individual practice. So, and I'm sure you can attest to that because you did not give up on, it's not like, you stuck to still creating through it all, like through, your struggles in when you were thrown into motherhood early on in your 20s, which I'm really grateful I got to travel early on in my 20s because now I don't have like that crazy itch to take off. I still do, but I know I can when it's there, and and I'm not like, so that was really great. But I'm really proud of you because you still created, and I want to talk about where that led actually. So currently you have a song, a second of 6 singles releasing on December 3rd, but I want to talk, did you use I want to talk back to when you didn't stop making music and where that took you, because do you think that helped you heal and connect to yourself?
100%. I've always said this is like, I should almost coin this somehow, but making music or creating has never felt like a job. It's never felt like creating. It's always felt like it's been a form of escape or a form of therapeutic healing of
And something that's always yours.
and something that's always mine. But funny enough that you say that, sometimes it's like they live beside the tracks. Sorry. I was like, really? Funny that you say that, because in the early days of motherhood, it's like my brain wanted to create so badly, but I just didn't have it in me. So it would be things like taking melodies that I already knew, like from other songs. And these weren't songs I was making to like put out there. It was like, just because I need to sit down at my piano and I need to play and sing and just like get this out there. I would just take melodies that were familiar and I would just change the words. And so like it was almost as if I was like, that was just a way for me to figure out how to unleash some emotion that I was not familiar with, you know? I had never really felt that way before. I had never felt so disconnected. I had never felt like literally such a failure of a human, especially since like we were getting off the breast, like it didn't work to breastfeed. That was already like a shot in the shoulder. And then it was like, okay, well, let's try pumping because it's really important to me that my child has breast milk. And then like that didn't work, which was like another shot in the other shoulder. I was just like, man, what the heck? Like I suck as a mom, which now I totally get that I didn't suck as a mom.
No, you were there.
But in the trenches, I really and truly felt like I had totally failed my child. I had failed, like, I mean, I had told so many people about my big dreams of having this natural birth and like always having a baby on my boob. Like I was so excited about this life. And then it was like C-section, bottle formula fed baby. And like, we're like bringing the baby to work, setting up a playpen, leaving the baby in the playpen with little toys and like going to work because like I couldn't sit at home and do nothing. Like I wasn't that kind of a person. I'm still not that kind of a person. So Mila came to work with me forever, even like she'll perpetually always come to work with me. But it was just not living this typical lifestyle that I had envisioned for myself. And like that kind of hurt at first. So I needed a way to escape that weird hurt that I was dealing with. And playing people's music or adding my own words or just like playing someone else's songs for like a couple minutes a day was just like, this feels so good. And I obviously, as a gospel artist and as a Christian, like I value the art of meditation or prayer. So like that was almost as if me like spending some time singing worship music in the mornings or like meditating in silence, but like with my piano, not saying anything, but like that was so healing for me. It's hard to describe it really, but that really got me through a season. And I feel like it also sparked and propelled me into the next season of creativity where I felt like I had a new song every single day. I don't even know when that started and I don't know if it stopped because I feel like I'm always writing something, which is sweet. But not everything is like release worthy, you know, like sending out to the world, but it's just these
doesn't matter
moments.
One thing always leads into the next, or like there's not a reason, like there's always a reason why you're doing it, right? It's like it can influence something else or, you know, evolve into, you know, the biggest thing is to show up. And I think showing up every day for your creativity too.
It has showed up for me in so many times, in so many ways, so many times. It's like I owe it. I owe it the loyalty of showing up every day and just being like, you know, I don't really have anything fresh right now, but I just need to get this out of here. Like I need to get it out. I need to put it out into something tangible. And it's so funny. I've had people ask me like, can you write a song for my daughter who's graduating? Can you write a song for our wedding? Can you write a song for my mom's funeral? Like I've gotten all the things. And I'm just like, I don't honestly think I can, because everything that comes out of my mouth is like something that's from my soul. Like it's not, I can't like, I mean, I can make something up and it will sound okay, but like it's not going to be the heartfelt art that I really want to make. And
No,
I'm not really in the
I think
position.
that's a struggle for every artist and creative.
Yeah, that's
You're like, because I have a great example. I made those really cool sweaters this summer, and honestly, I made them for fun.
yeah.
And it was one day of like with my studio manager, and I was like, oh, this print is like amazing.
Mhm.
And then we're like, let's put it on your shirt. Yeah, let's do that. And then now I have like so many people being like, can you design shirts? I was like, that's not really what I do. But I have a hard time saying no. So I said yes. And I was like, oh, I gotta stop saying yes to weird shit like this.
Hey, but they are amazing. I wear mine almost every day. Like
I know they're so comfy, and yeah, it did take off, but that was something I made out of like, it was for fun, and then it turned into this like crazy way bigger, because we shot a beautiful shoot with amazing individuals who were just, that's why it was successful, is who was along for that ride, and the way it kind of organically happened.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's tough, but good for you for saying no, because a lot of creatives can't, especially like I go through spells of like 3, sometimes like 4 months where there's like nothing. So when I get jobs, like I'm just like, what if that happens again? Typically, actually no, that was just one time this year because of what had happened. But and I still had some, but it was like you have that fear, and for me to, and that's why I've said yes to a few different job offers, because I need some sustainability in my practice, because I can't go from like sustaining my whole business now because of the way I've expanded. Like I can't go through months where I take a $10,000 hit or like the next month make up for it. Like I need consistency. So I have said yes to some stuff. And I'm excited about it, but I need that sense of security that I haven't had. And I think, now that Teddy's 2, that's 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 is like the time you start to feel like you gain a little bit of yourself back. And you can start like being like, okay, maybe we'll have a day of childcare or 2, or some help or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the future will hold. I never do. But the point is, you just can't stop. Like I think it's really important to just keep going. Even though you don't know where it's going, even though yours has gone to some really cool places, you're always flying off. I always see you and you're like, well, I'm headed to Nashville. And I'm just there to speak in front of hundreds of thousands or whatever people and present an award at the, what is it? Dove?
At the Dove Awards.
Yeah. So you got Songwriter of the Year one year. What year was that? 2019 or 27? Was it 2017? Oh gosh, that makes me feel older.
That makes me feel older.
That seemed like last year. It wasn't.
2 years have sort of been canceled out, so it's really not that far away. And I
was pregnant with Finn then, not Teddy.
I was pregnant with Indy when I got Songwriter of the Year, which is cool. I was so teeny tiny, and I remember just being like,
I didn't know you were pregnant. I don't think you didn't look pregnant.
I know I didn't look pregnant. That was the crazy part, but I felt pregnant. Trust me. That was a wild summer. That whole summer, that was when I had really discovered the power of co-writing. So it's like when you collab with someone else and write a song with someone else, and like that's another thing where collaborating with other people, especially in the music world, is so it's like electrifying, because you think you have this good idea and you bring it to the table, like you bring a concept to the table, and then someone loves your concept and you're like, this is like dopamine, like this is so great, somebody likes my idea. And then like 4 other people just start like nailing this idea on the head and like creating this big picture when you really only had like a tiny little piece. And getting to hear other people's perspectives and like it's just such a beautiful thing. And I don't even know if like art has something like that where you and someone else could collaborate on a painting, but it's the best. Like, I love it.
I don't think it's like literal like a song necessarily. I know some people do collaborate on creations, but in the art world, collaboration was so frowned upon, like when I was in university, and now like people are finally realizing, especially women and females in my industry, is the more we work together, especially because we're underrepresented in the art world so drastically, that the more we come together and work together to make the change, and I think we're all realizing that we're stronger together. So I think this can be applied to any sort of situation, that collaboration is the right way to go always, because it is stronger, and you can find like-minded creatives and best friends that you'll have for the rest of your life. And it's just being open to those opportunities, and it'll take you somewhere, being always open to creativity in the first place, but then really expanding, and then those same types of people and those same types of opportunities will just gravitate toward you.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And I feel like in a way you put out, or you get back what you put out into your creative funnel, if you want to call it that, sphere.
Yeah, let's not use funnel. I've heard the word funnel this year. Let's not.
The worst word. That doesn't even work in the context.
Hula hoop it.
But anyways,
let's call it a hula hoop or something.
Into the
something more fun
of your creativity. It's like every person that I've met, which actually now is turning out to be almost a problem, because some of my like soul best friends, some of the people that I have met and been like, we are connected, like you are my person, they live on the other side of the continent, and I hate that so much. And so that's why like not being able to travel for these past couple of years has been so like mentally and emotionally so hard on me, because I was actually supposed to in 2020, I was supposed to be in the States once a month, every single month for the whole year, from January, which we did through the January trip, and then the end of February trip got canceled, which coronavirus, they called it back then, wasn't hardly a thing. They're like, So I had 2 years worth of not seeing anybody, and that was like heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching. So I actually had to, and this is silly to say out loud, but I had these gems of friends in my circle already here, but it's like we didn't necessarily, I chose not to connect with them that well, because I was like, well, you're not a musician, not a creative, you're not like, we don't jive on, whatever. But like, I've realized those are my people. They're like, I have to make those my people here. And like, man, I've created the best friends, the most wonderful people that are probably lifers in Lloydminster just in this past couple years, because of the fact that like I had been traveling so much and I had not really had time for friends. I really just go travel to find friends.
Music has really taken off.
I'm trying. It's so hard. Like anything, and you know this very well, the more you put out there, the more attention that it can get, or the more traction that you can gain. So I find like the more often I put out singles, the more honestly, the more traction I feel like my whole brand gets, which is silly to put it that way, but I even hate the word brand now.
It's not. I hate the word brand too, but you know what? I feel like if we were two guys sitting here, we wouldn't hate the word brand so much. I don't know why business owner, CEO, and brand are so hard for young women to wrap their heads around. And it goes with a lot of things that I don't even want to bring up, because that's a whole conversation and more in itself. But yeah, you are a brand. I am a brand. It just goes along with your creative vision for success. So yeah, let's get on the train where we don't apologize for having a brand and starting and being badass, basically.
Yeah. So as you know, the more things that you put out, the more you put yourself out there, the more traction your brand gets. So
Mhm.
that is a huge investment. I know nothing about the art world pretty much at all, except for I love that everything that you make is like speaking to my soul, and I want you to do a mural of the whole inside of my house so that I can wake up happy.
Oh, for the final question, sponsored. I'm so excited. I hope I just have Red Bicycle as my solo first ever sponsor. Well, they always get this grand announcement and spot in all the podcasts. Red Bicycle Communications.
Yeah. I love it.
Final question, a day in the life. I want you to describe your perfect, ideal day in your mind, for you. What would make you the happiest clam, most fulfilled individual?
I would be somewhere warm on my private jet. No, I'm just kidding. But I would probably be in Florida, which is where my studio is, or I would be in Texas, which is where it feels like all of my friends are right now. I would be in either one of those places. I would be in a big open room, and I would be either doing like a live recording, or I would just be singing with all of my friends. One of my best friends is a drummer, so I would have her drumming. I would have the whole group, and they would all be doing their thing, and there would be amazing. There'd be a choir, and we would just be singing for the whole day. That's what I would love. And they would all be songs that I got to write on, whether I wrote the whole thing or like co-write. But yeah, that's what I would do with my day. So it does include a private jet, ideally, but I will fly economy if I have to.
Perfect. Thank you. And thanks for coming on and taking the time to be here. I appreciate it so much. And I'll run into you at the Co-op grocery store again soon, I'm sure.
You at Co-op. Thanks for having me, girl. This was really great.
Yeah, Co-op, you can go ahead and sponsor me too. We actually have a mutual friend there, so that's like a legit request.
You heard it here first, Christine.
Actually, Co-op, they don't have to sponsor my podcast. We already do an anti-bullying campaign that is like major and really beautiful, and I appreciate them so much.
Great.
And another person who asked me to make a shirt. But this is probably where it'll stem from, actually. Not the flower shirt, but the Co-op shirt. Seeing 3,000 people wearing a shirt in your community every day is actually weird.
Okay, but
people are like, do you stop? Or my husband said, do you stop people and be like, I made that? I'm like, no, I don't actually do that.
But do you think about it? Or are you like, you made that? You think about it though.
I do think about it a little bit. I'm like, ooh, it's always neat every time. It doesn't go away. It just doesn't. It's so cool to see something you do be a little bit successful or make a change. Like, that's making change in our community. And Christine asked me to be a part of it. It's her baby, really. And I just got to come along for the ride. And this year we're doing it again. It's pretty sweet. In the form of some maybe really bright colors, like this little tiny hint, like there's maybe a neon version that could light up a room. We shot it here. We got to shoot it already, so I'm excited. Obviously, we plan a year in advance, so get ready, everyone.
Oh, I can't wait. Yay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sunday. Have a great day, friend.
You too. Thanks, Brandy. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in today, friends. I sure appreciate your time and being here. So the Kindness Wins campaign is on in full form. Sure. You can pick up some apparel, you can order a pizza, you can dine at the Timber Cafe and Home Hardware if you're a local, as this is a local campaign going to local anti-bullying programming in our school systems and grants and funding for that. sort of programming in our schools. So it's really special. We're honored to be a part of it. Check more of it out at brandyhofer.ca or Brandy Hofer Studios on Instagram. It is just phenomenal, and we have a few big announcements. One might be a giant mural coming up in June, and pretty proud of that project, as well as one more that also has to do with our public school system. So we are so busy here in the studio, but we'll keep putting out podcasts because we love connecting with you at that level, and also chatting with local creatives and international creatives. So thank you again for being here. It is so special that you are part of what we do. And we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.